You're listening to Brian Sussman on Hot Talk 560 KSFO.
Often imitated, never duplicated, the idiot reel. We take all of the controversial, hilarious, stupid sound bites from politicos, celebrities, etc., put them into a big reel. Today on the idiot reel, Bill Burton, White House spokesperson, talking about Barack Obama's golf weekend.
Ooh.
While the president of BP was out on a yacht, that was bad. Barack Obama out on the golf course, that's okay. Elena Kagan, oh, she loved those Bork hearings. Al Franken, idiot. Hilda Solis, Department of Labor, talking about illegal aliens, well, having all these rights here in America, this new commercial. Then you're going to hear from John Kyle, the great senator from Arizona, talking about his meeting with President Obama, and then Bill Burton, who says the meeting never happened. Then Obama talking about what happened in 2004, which was actually the subject of the meeting that took place about a week ago. Oh, we've got so much to cover here in today's Idiot Reel on KSFO.
I don't think that there's a person in this country that doesn't think that their president ought to have a little time to clear his mind. And so after a week where the president was taking on the oil spill, after going to Ohio to talk about the economy and see the progress that's being made in some of those stimulus projects that are happening around the country, all the different issues that the president's dealing with, I think that a little bit of time to himself on Father's Day weekend probably does us all good as American citizens.
I loved what happened in the Bork hearings. The Bork hearings were great. The Bork hearings were educational. The Bork hearings were the best thing that ever happened to constitutional democracy.
Originalism isn't a pillar of our constitutional history. It's a talking point. During his confirmation hearing, John Roberts broke out another conservative talking point. He said, "Judges are like umpires. Umpires don't make the rules, they apply them." And he promised, "I will remember that it's my job to call balls and strikes and not to pitch or bat." How ridiculous.
You work hard, and you have the right to be paid fairly. I'm U.S. Secretary of Labor Hilda Solis, and it is a serious problem when workers in this country are not being paid every cent they earn. Remember, every worker in America has the right to be paid fairly, whether documented or not.
Here's what the president said. The problem is, he said, if we secure the border, then you all won't have any reason to support comprehensive immigration reform. In other words, they're holding it hostage.
The president didn't say that. Senator Kyle knows that the president didn't say that.
We have to concentrate on how do we secure our borders, how do we track individuals who are coming into this country who may be engaged in terrorist activity. How do we then provide potential pathways for citizenship to those illegal immigrants who have shown themselves to be good citizens? That's going to be a difficult conversation to have, and it's going to have to be bipartisan for it to be effective, and the trade-off is going to have to be improved security of our borders, at the same time allowing those who are already here to reach out for that American dream.
If this was Texas, which is the state that is directly on the border with Mexico, and they were calling for a measure like this, saying that they had a major issue with undocumented people flooding their borders, I would say I would have to look twice at this. But this is a state that is a ways removed from the border, and
when we go into our restaurants and there's Border Patrol sitting there, would you sit next to the Ku Klux Klan if they were sitting in a restaurant with a hood on over their heads?
So that we have the president in Australia suggesting somehow that we are, as was stated before, kicking ASS. We talk to these folks because they potentially have the best answers, so I know who's asked to kick.
Big business favors Republicans. With all of these unlimited dollars flowing through, we'll see more Republicans getting elected.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
Well, we're going to save the world in part by doing something about the energy problem. And this impacts national security, this impacts economic prosperity, and most important for me, this impacts stewardship of the environment.
The job that the bill must do is have the result that we reduce our dependence on foreign oil as a national security issue, that we proceed with innovation so that we can be number one, continue to be number one in the world in innovation, competitiveness by creating new green jobs for the future. And it is a moral issue for us to honor the obligation we have to pass this planet on to future generations intact.
That's why in the coming days, I'll work with both parties to find the necessary votes to move comprehensive energy and climate legislation forward. If we refuse to heed the warnings of this disaster, we will have missed our best chance to help build the clean energy future America needs. But if we seize this moment, we can rebuild our economy on a new foundation and make it more competitive in the 21st century, creating entire new industries and millions of new clean energy jobs all across the country.
The Idiot Reel. Go to Facebook, look for Brian Sussman Show. Irene from Texas will be posting the Idiot Reel on my Facebook wall a little bit later today. Officer Vic, how can I be the man when you're clearly the guitar man? Young Sherry Yee, awesome job behind the controls as always.